My name's William. So Webster's Dictionary defines spread as to open or expand over a larger area. And to us, within spread, it's defined as supporting peer respect, education, and discourse. But seriously, spread is a community of friends, all at a similar sort of stage in our lives. You could call it an inflection point. You could call it sort of a quarter-life crisis. But it feels like it's a time where anything is and everything is possible, but nothing is quite certain. So not long ago, a few of us came together to form this little community to host events where we learn from one another, gain new perspectives, and open or expand ourselves over a larger area. So that's what we're all about. Welcome, and hopefully we can have a good discussion of everything that's happening, get engaged, and be real.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Today is today's October 29th. We're a week away from the election. Everybody should have received their ballots in the mail by now. Turn it in before November 8th. We have a whole lot of stuff on the ballot, including a bunch of local, state, and federal offices that we can't get to because that's just a crazy amount of stuff. We also have a bunch of stuff from the state. Those are your state propositions going from number 1 to number 30, and a bunch for the city. Today we're going to start off with Prop 26 from the state. And we will do this for about 45 minutes if it takes that long, if there's that much discussion. If not, we'll move on to the following ones. So 26 is kind of, so we're going to do 26, but there's also 27, which, because they're related. They both are talking about how, if voters want it, how are we going to put in sports gambling for the state of California. I think I'll just kind of read it. Proposition 26 is going to allow in-person roulette, dice games, sports wagering on tribal lands. All right, it's going to allow federally recognized Indian tribes to operate these gambling games on tribal lands if authorized by gaming compacts approved by the state. Allows sports wagering at certain licensed horse track in 4 counties for a person 20 years or older. Impose 10% tax on sports wagering profits at these tracks. Directs revenues to these funds: general fund, problem gambling programs, and enforcement 15%. Does the room want to? Well, we should compare the two kind of side by side since they're so similar. Yeah. Has anyone researched this before coming here and can share some basic information?
Well, I think this one is basically it's insight. It's like in-person gambling, and it's local. It's only on tribal casinos that have been approved by the state or whatever, and there's no apps involved. So, yeah, it gets a little confusing because the other proposition number 27, is about online sports betting, and that can happen inside of an app on your phone, wherever you happen to have an internet connection, which is almost everywhere. Meanwhile, Proposition 26 is a lot more focused, and some people say it'll help tribal communities, other people will be like gambling's bad all around, and I don't know, this one's a little more, I guess, cool, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? That's my understanding, that's my general overview, 10,000 feet up, so this one's focused.
Yeah.
The other one's not.
So you're saying this only applies to in-person gambling, and only in, Native American land?
Yeah. The operation of roulette, dice games, and sports wagering on tribal lands for people over 21. On-site sports wagering at privately operated horse racing tracks in 4 specific counties, which include Alameda, Los Angeles, Orange County, and San Diego, so not specifically San Francisco. And then there's a tax on all bets made. So it's like horse racing tracks. I mean, where's the nearest horse racing track?
Golden Gate Fields.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering how much land do they own in California that allows gambling?
So it's not just Indian land.
Oh, okay.
It's Indian land and these specific sites.
Oh, okay.
The Golden Gate Fields being one
horse
of them.
racing tracks in only 4 counties.
Okay.
It's very specific. I don't know how this whole proposition came about. It feels like there was a lot of, negotiating. Why is it not statewide? If it's a statewide proposition, but it's only for certain counties. I don't know.
I'll take a step back too and say, so 26 and 27 are not mutually exclusive. Like they could both pass or they can both
Right.
fail. One doesn't replace the other.
Right.
They're like two kind of separate questions.
Right.
They're only related based on the big question of should we allow gambling on sports in California? Why don't we address that kind of big picture one first? Because that might already solve the problem for you as far as deciding whether to vote for it.
Like, in general, should gambling be allowed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause right now it's not allowed in
How do you-
California.
Yeah. How do you feel about gambling? Or how it is now? Because like a lot of people, if you want to go gambling, you just go hop the state border, like Las Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, but it makes it their issue, right?
Right. Do you want it to be our issue as well?
So I mentioned this in the Discord chat. Basically, like I feel more strongly about this than I did previously because of what an incident that happened like through Twitch. Everybody knows Twitch.
Oh, kind of.
What's
Yeah,
Twitch?
yeah.
Did you hear about the story?
Well, is it the loot box type gambling stuff?
Oh no. So
Okay.
so basically what I mean, like earlier this year, there was a big like gambling controversy in Twitch because a lot of Twitch streamers were gambling on stream, and there's been a lot of controversy about like is it ethical, is it not ethical, but one streamer in specifically named Slicker, he gambled all his money away, but because he had a platform Twitch, he ended up actually like asking other streamers as well as viewers for money to pay back gambling and to also just gamble.
But that is the platform though.
Say again?
But that is the platform for Twitch.
What do you mean?
Like, you can donate money.
Oh no, he was asking privately outside of
Oh,
the
privately?
outside of
Oh, okay.
like Twitch.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he was getting it from.
Oh no, like he was also getting donations.
Viewers.
Yeah, yes, that's part of the platform. You're right. But outside of that too, he was asking people for money to gamble more and or return money from gambling.
Okay.
And so hearing that story, and obviously he was only able to do that because he had a following, right? He was able to leverage his following. He was able to take advantage of these people, and part of me wonders, like, if he was able to do that, like, or he was only able to do that because again he had a following. But I'm imagining if someone that didn't have money that gambled. Because of that story, I was really thinking about like, okay, yes, he was able to leverage like the people that he knows and the people that follow him to get money that way. But I'm imagining if you're an average person who may gamble outside of their means, like, wouldn't they also do the same thing by reaching out to their loved ones, asking for money that way, and et cetera, et cetera. And so part of me also thinks about sort of like, and to be fair, that only happens in like the communities that are like, poor communities, basically is what I'm trying to get at. And if it, I don't know the data on how much it affects poor communities, but like,
Well, it does have an effect.
right,
Is
exactly.
What you're
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a lesson to be learned about like, should you be gambling outside your means, et cetera. People do anyway, right? And so, part of me doesn't want it to be available, doesn't want gambling to be okay because of that possibility.
Okay.
So that's where I'm coming from.
So you're leaning pretty heavily
No.
to
Yeah,
no.
to no.
No on both counts,
of
on
those
26 and 27.
26, I'm feeling okay about like.
There's in
Actually,
person.
well,
It's in person. It's only like 4 counties in the. It's such a weird proposition in my mind because it's so like, only
Oh,
here.
I'm leaning more towards being okay with 26 mainly because like 27 is can be potentially way more harmful to specifically young people.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest concern.
For the
I agree
young
with that.
ones.
Yes.
Think of the
yes.
children.
I'm thinking real hard of all the children in all the
So
world.
that's
Wonder.
I personally like, and this is my cantankerous view. When it comes to Proposition 27 specifically, is like, I've heard advertisements increase over the last year and a half on various podcasts that advertise around the country. So they cut these new ads that have all of this verbiage that's like, oh, this only applies in this state, that state, that state. And I heard, New York just recently passed a proposition where they made online sports betting legal throughout the state of New York, and immediately they got inundated. There's just advertisements everywhere. So much money got pumped through that whole thing. I don't know. It just strikes me as something that it'll just be like, if this passes, we're going to be flooded with all of these new advertisements for gambling within the state of California, billboards, whatnot, TV commercials, and I'm just like, I don't want to I don't know if I would ever
Okay.
engage.
Oh, it's
that-
like a gateway right now that's keeping
Yeah.
these advertisements, and then if this passes, then
Right.
That's a very niche.
Right now, the
market.
advertisements are targeted towards people who live in other states. But
Mm.
if this passes, then suddenly we will be inundated, and we're already kind of inundated. Like we're getting the splash factor, you know. But that's my very minor gripe. On the other hand, I think the far bigger concern is that, like, do you want your device, your phone, to become like a gambling, like a slot machine, you know, with
So-
real, actual consequences?
So Will has some very niche arguments against it. Stepping back again, 26 and 27 are related. Do you guys think in general that gambling should be allowed and regulated by the state in California? It's currently illegal. Sports gambling.
Online sports
So,
gambling.
online and
But you can do it on tribal land.
yeah, and 26 is tribal.
Yeah,
lands.
26 is a lot more focused. It's only on tribal lands and certain counties.
Well, so currently you can't gamble in those lands?
I guess not.
Not for these specific games.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, some casino games. There's some
Uh-huh.
casino license.
Yeah, there are some casinos in the state of California.
Right, that's what I'm wondering, like I'm trying to understand, like, what, because you can gamble in California, in certain parts of California.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to understand
This
how
would-
much of California can gamble, and how much does that, or how much does this have an effect on the places that currently can gamble? Or if it even has an effect. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Ooh, I don't know. I think
It says for
Mhm.
card rooms, currently 84 rooms in 32 counties can, like total in the whole
Mm.
state. So they're regulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horse betting as well. There's like,
it's okay.
yeah. So tribes operate 66 casinos in 28 counties, and they have these games. But I'm trying to make the question kind of accessible to folks.
Mhm.
If we're all on the same page with like, oh, we do want some gambling, but then we could get into details about like, you know, what that could look like. Just big picture, it's easy to access. You know, look inside yourselves what your values are. Do you think gambling is a vice that we should try to not have at all, or is it okay because some of the taxes will go into, you know, funding state programs and so on and so forth? General picture, what are people's, you know, this is something you should be kind of able to answer kind of quickly, right? It's like yes or no, gambling's evil, or everyone else is doing it. I think 35 other states allow it.
so. You're leaning more towards yes on 26 specifically.
Really?
Are you?
6 to 7, I'm approaching it pretty similarly.
Similarly?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like they're very different.
They are quite different.
There's
the big picture question is similar though, isn't it?
There's not. Well, I guess, but like, at a certain point, a difference in amount becomes a difference in kind. You know what I mean? Like, 26 will just make what we already have available slightly more available, but you still have to like get off your ass and go somewhere.
That's true.
The difference is like 27 brings it to your phone, and you could be gambling like right here, right now.
And the kids.
While we're
the
talking,
kids.
and the kids who have your tablet could like go in. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that for me is a little too
It's
like a bridge too far.
accessible. It's very accessible.
It's a bridge too far, and it's like
So you're okay 26, but 27 now.
yeah, 26. I'll probably vote against it just because
Oh.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Like I don't really care if it goes one way or the other
Okay.
because it's already available. I'll just kind of, I don't know. I don't see the benefit. I'm not sure where that money is going. But 27, I'm definitely opposed. 26, I'm waffling.
Okay.
Let's
Other
put it that
thoughts on the question? Should gambling be okay, like in general, and then you can go into only physically or also on your phone?
Who loves gambling? I love
I love
gambling.
fucking ugly.
I love gambling. It's too fun. Gamble your life away.
Claudia, what's on your mind?
I feel like gambling like isn't a great thing, but I feel like people like who really love it, like if they're not gonna be gambling, if it's illegal, they're probably gonna like be spending their money on something else anyway. So I feel like maybe it'd be better to like make it legal just so that it's like a bit more regulated. And they're gonna like end up like being addicted maybe to like anyway to like something else, or maybe like even if people don't have an addiction to it, like maybe they'll just do it for fun, as long as like it's like done in moderation. And I think it's like not horrible. It's just it could just be something fun to do. But I don't think like it should be like super accessible either, because then you know then kids can do it.
That's true.
And it's not like a super great thing to do anyway, so it's like if you limit it, then at least like it won't like cause like as much problems.
Well, then I would argue to vote no on 27 because, like, we want, or I would vote, or I would argue to vote no on 27 just because of what you mentioned. Like it needs to be more regulated,
Yeah.
and we can push for something that's even more regulated than what's in 27 right now, right? Just
Yeah.
so, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, so you're saying 27 isn't perfect? Well, you wouldn't
Correct.
want to do 27 anyways, right? You
Oh
don't
yeah,
want it on the
regardless
front
if they have
anyway.
more regulation on it, like
Okay.
I don't want it to be that accessible
Mm.
Yeah.
because of the risks involved.
Yeah. Like, I think it'd be bad to like have available like online and stuff.
Yeah, I think about it in terms of like drinking, because there's an age restriction. You have to be
Yeah.
21 or over in order to do any sort of
How do you
gambling.
verify that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
We had
yeah,
these
yeah,
since
yeah.
We were 12. Like
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, with the online
Online.
stuff. Yeah.
We
Oh.
can check it for online. We
Oh.
can require it. Be like,
Oh.
I
Yeah.
need a image of your ID
Oh,
and
true,
verify.
you could.
Yeah.
Like Airbnb does it.
And then the
there
kid
are
could
ways
get
to-
into their
there are
mom's
ways
purse.
to get through that.
I
though.
mean, Social Security though, like you can enter your Social Security and then.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so
Look it
many
up.
easy ways to get bypass all that.
Mm.
Like, we did that as young people.
I've been
Like,
18
come on.
online
I didn't-
I think our parents.
I didn't do that. I
We
didn't.
did that as young people.
I never
Like,
did
come
that.
on.
I never did that. That was not me.
ID and then like a picture of yourself.
But it
like
would
an
help.
actual-
Yeah.
But I can imagine like some kid just telling them like, "Yo, just take a picture of this." Like,
Mm.
like even like immigrant kids that where their parents don't speak English, but like, oh, we just need this for something. You know what I mean?
How
Like,
about impose a
and they'll
cap?
believe it because they don't
Yeah.
speak English,
Yeah,
right?
cap.
Like,
Yeah.
A cap for how much you can gamble per day.
Ooh,
that it's
interesting.
Not like a one time. Oh, all
Yeah,
your
that'd be
savings
cool.
are gone.
I don't think that's a part of Prop 27,
definitely.
but
Yeah.
definitely.
but that would be a cool thing to
Mhm.
impose. You know.
Yeah. But the question is before us now. This is similar to other questions that are before us. Like, you don't agree with exactly how it is as presented. I forget what the other one, but anyways, and some people say, oh, I don't like that this company wrote most of the language, and I don't like how it's written. It's just not perfect. The state legislature should figure that out. So let's vote no on this, and maybe they'll bring it up some other time.
Mm.
So that's an argument, but on the same question, you know, if that's in general a decent idea in your book, I would say, let's get something on the books and then fix it as we go. There's, you know, that's the argument on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm in favor of the former, where it's like I don't think this is something that we should be a. I'm gonna vote no.
You're like, what's the rush? Let's, you know.
Yeah, what's the rush?
Wait
Let's
till we have
see how
perfect
it works
policy.
out. Let's see how the other states work it out a little. Let's give it a little more time, because right now they just or at least New York State just enacted
Oh, is that true?
legalization of online
But New York
sports
State
betting.
is not the first, nor the 20th. They're like the 30 something.
But they're
to
very
do it.
similar to us
The
in
size?
terms of like the demographics. Yes, it's like a coastal state with with Manhattan.
How
we're
recent
like,
did New York enact it?
I don't know,
Oh, okay.
a few months ago.
This year?
I think maybe last year.
Oh,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Is
but-
being on the coast relevant to gambling? I'm just kidding.
I'm just thinking like, you know, when you think of your phone, it's like it makes everything possible, right? But it like you can't drink alcohol out of your phone.
No.
You have to order it, and then it has to come to you, and then you gotta like open it up. You can't just you can't just look at it, tap it, and then you're gambling. You know what I mean? Like it makes it that easy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Online
it's a
sports
connection
betting.
here. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's like, why are you bringing it up?
Yeah, I think,
I just-
especially if you're thinking about kids, like, I think accessibility is huge. Like, you know, I think kids have lower impulse control, and something like gambling, it's like, oh snap, all my friends are doing
Yeah.
it, or something like that.
it's
Which
like a
they
video
are.
game. I mean, kids play video.
Oh,
I
yeah.
play video games on my
Casino games
phone
have
all the
pretty
time.
lights for a reason.
Yeah.
Solitaire.
So,
He's been playing solitaire so addictively. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like a
Ma-
kid.
Imagine if you lost that game of solitaire and then you had to pay $100 for losing it.
Right?
But if you won, you got
They have that
$200.
actually. They're like gambling for solitaire. I'm
Solitaire?
like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that's wild.
So, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm really opposed to 27. 26, I'm like, whatever.
Or just
Yeah, I
thinking,
think 26 is kind of like they
no,
already
like,
gambling
we don't
anyway.
even need to
So
Yeah.
pass this ballot.
this will add more revenue for the state.
Yeah.
People are already putting gambling.
Sarah,
they're
which
doing
way
with
which way are you going?
20,
Sarah?
26 strikes me as like,
It's
there are
okay.
some tribes that didn't get in on
I don't
it.
know about
It's okay in
26
like 30
yet,
other states.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
but
But
for 27, I'm leaning towards yes.
It's like
Only
California,
because
But the
people
kids.
find means to do something even if it's illegal.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That was my
why not just make it legal for now? And I do like the idea of passing it and then working on it later because you're never gonna find some proposition that's perfect to begin with.
Mm.
And I think even though it's very easy to gamble online, I think it's very easy to just monitor what goes on. Like if there's a huge flux of transactions, then I think that is easier to spot and to see who's exactly making those transactions, whether it's a kid or an adult. And it's easier to set parameters like the max amount. Those are all regulated through whoever's managing the gambling sites.
But what incentive would they have to actually manage them?
Government.
The law. The law.
Yeah. I don't think DraftKings wants a limit on the amount of bets that are placed. So they're,
Well, they
they're
would
going
if
to
it's
lobby
against
against
the
it.
law.
Huh?
But they would if it's against the law, right?
What do you mean?
As in like what, like if it's like a 17-year-old or like an 18-year-old doing it,
Oh, yeah.
right?
No, if they could get away with it, they would. Of course, they'd want little kids gambling.
Right.
What are you kidding me? Like,
No, but if they find out
it's
that
so
it's-
good for the bottom line. I mean, it's all about value capture, not value creation. It's about, bottom line.
Yeah. So, for example, Sarah said she believes in the state regulation to kind of minimize the pain, right? While Bowden says they're not going to do it well, and some kids are going to be hurt by it. I mean, so if all policies, there's winners and losers, and you just kind of, it's about the degree and the variation of who's winning and who's losing. For sure, if this passes and gambling is legal, some families are going to get hurt, some lives are going to be destroyed.
Right.
Right? Absolutely. Think the scale. There's like how many million people in California. So you just have. We're talking about weighing the benefits or the risks, or you just come at it from a straight value perspective and say, no, gambling's a sin. Can't allow it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go at it from that angle. Like this sort of, what's the word? This sort of knee jerk, like, oh, gambling is inherently evil. I don't go at it from that angle. I just go at it from the angle of like, yeah, there are going to be some people who just can't stop, and so it's like drinking, alcoholics, gambling, addiction, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I brought up the whole thing with the drinking. You can't drink from your phone, but you can gamble from your phone. Yeah.
If you have like moderation control, like then it's not a huge issue.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Social media is very easy. It's very hard to do. Like, I mean, there are social media. It's hard to do the moderation control on social media, and DraftKings is like sort of like that, where it's like it's very visceral and immediate, and it's right there in your phone, and it's always there, and it's always calling out to you.
Why
And
was
there are
this
like little
pushed
chimes.
up to begin with?
Oh, that's a good question. And there are answers.
Singing
Not
to
off
you.
the top of my head. A big push in all the funding is from the gambling companies.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a huge market. It would be the biggest market. I think I heard it'll be a $3 billion market.
Holy
Brand new, like brand
That's
new.
crazy.
So all the gambling companies in the country are chomping
how
at
much
the
is
bits.
California getting out of that though?
10%, right?
10%.
So wait,
That's
we're
it?
getting 300 million of that.
That's
I
not.
think
Wait,
10%
I'm voting
of
yes.
tax.
Wait, we're getting so much money.
I was gonna bring that up because
We're-
you were talking about the negatives.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about the positives. It would increase public revenues by a huge portion and create jobs, obviously.
Yeah.
Imposing a
Come on,
10% tax.
Come on, California.
I heard-
10%. That's nothing.
Maybe
That's
27 is
something.
more. I don't know.
10% of 3 billion.
27 is 10%.
I mean, I wouldn't mind
That's
some of
what I'm
that.
saying.
Tax
But
on sports
I
betting.
don't know. One of my coworkers
The
was
number
like,
doesn't mean
because
that number
DraftKings,
doesn't
because some of these companies are based in a different state,
Mhm.
that income is not actually taxed by California. Like, it doesn't come to us; it goes to Nevada or whoever.
No, I'm pretty sure.
That's
I
what
mean,
I've heard.
maybe Anna can answer this. The state taxes activities in the state, and then wherever they're based, their federal tax is a whole other question. I don't know. Will is saying that if they're based in another state, they won't really be paying this 10%
For
tax.
online one you're referring to.
Yeah, for
Oh,
online
really?
gambling, that
Yeah.
money will go to the state of
every
Nevada,
every
right?
state has different rules regarding like their nexus.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you have to be in California.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, like some states it's like, oh, we only tax like that revenue that you made from that state. Like let's say you're based in where were you, like Kentucky.
Ohio.
And then you do sales in like Ohio, let's
Okay.
say, right?
Uh-huh.
If that state has a rule that says, oh, if you're only soliciting sales, then whatever money you make in our state, you don't have to report
Oh.
it. But then some states like
So how's
California, was like
California?
it doesn't matter if you come here or not, or if you make the sale online or not. So long as you made a sale that comes to California, it's reportable for California.
Wait,
tax.
it comes to California?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like every state has a different rule, right?
So just to understand, if a company like for example in Texas that is hosting an online gambling thing and someone gambles in California, will that get taxed in California tax or will it get taxed in Texas or like
Theoretically, California.
Okay, got it.
But then, like, it depends if they change the rule or not, whether it's physical, has to be physical, or like a physical sale, or
Right.
like the person who's benefiting
Mhm.
from the sale is where they're located. Yeah, you have to like really read through the tax law regarding it.
Is
No
there
way that's a 27.
is there any is there ever any like conflicts between where the revenues go?
Of course, the state's like, well, you did the sale here, so it's taxable, and then maybe their tax board would be like, well, technically we didn't actually like do the sale there.
Okay.
We sold our items to another company, and that company sold it there.
I'm curious, like, is it just the gambling companies that are gonna benefit from this? Like, is it also the Indian Reserve people that are also gonna benefit? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for 27, right? Are we talking 27 or 26?
Well, the
26
tribal
for
one is
sure.
26.
27. I don't know.
Yeah, 27. It says that these gambling companies that are going to be allowed to be online legally, they have to like make a contract with the tribal states.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's the only way they can be licensed to do online gambling. Because I was worried, like, okay, if we're taking away the gambling rights of these tribal lands, then wouldn't the tribal lands be affected? Because people won't want to physically go to the
Right,
casinos
right,
anymore,
right.
right? And it says that one of the gives that the tribes have to do is give up some of their federal rights for like their licenses to like these companies, and also they have to make like a contract with the big companies and stuff like that. So it's kind of benefits the tribe, but I don't know what are these federal laws that they're giving up in order to get this regulation.
It sounds like a compromise between the big companies and the tribes. The tribes currently have a monopoly on gambling, and that's where they get a lot of money from it. So if it's legal and big companies come in, they're gonna lose a lot of market share. So I guess that's kind of the compromise that they have to make an agreement. Is anyone still in the middle on this and still have like some questions? You know what I mean? Like everyone knows where they're voting now?
I'm fluctuating.
Fluctuating?
On this side when I fill out the ballot.
Is there an aspect of it that you think could swing you one way or the other? What's giving you trouble?
I mean, generally, the biggest no is what Bowden said.
The kids?
Yeah. But also the yes is what I said earlier. So it's really hard.
Oh.
Yeah. The kids are, I don't know. I love kids. But
I mean, I don't love kids that much.
It's not really just the kids, it's more like you're affected by the kids' actions. And so ultimately it's the family.
True. Well, I feel like if you could put a number on how many families or kids would be hurt by it, percentage-wise of the total, you're never gonna get the answer. But like, if you could, right, what would you say it would be? I would say it's single digits, like I don't know, low, but.
Is it low?
So molas.
I mean, how many? If you took a sample of 100 families, you know, how many would be susceptible to, you know, having their lives destroyed or whatever? That's a really tough abstract question.
From gambling, you're referring
From gambling, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Is there any stats from like other states that are already legal?
There probably is. It might
There's
take
too
me an
much
hour
work.
to find it. But that's, you know, put that on your list if that'll help answer the question for you. Yeah. And we all should, right? But no one has time to do all that. For me, I would think that that number is pretty low compared to the rest of society potentially benefiting from the revenue and the taxes and the jobs. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. Folks can swing me the other way to think of the kids more.
So you're leaning towards yes.
Anyone else confused or, you know, not sure which way they're going to go on it?
I'm still a no.
On
On
26?
both? On probably on
27.
both, yeah.
On both.
That's just me.
Mm.
If you want to gamble in the state of California, there are plenty of places.
True.
Oh, another thing too, and when I was messaging on Discord, Carmen also brought up a good point about like having the obstacle of having it in another state will deter those families that don't have the means to gamble. Also,
Right.
right? People go to those states to gamble all the time, and having that obstacle does make it an obstacle. So, yeah, I'm most likely leaning to no too for both. Now for both.
Sorry. Okay.
Do you guys think poor families are more susceptible to gambling?
I think
You think so?
The gambling
susceptible to
addiction?
Everything.
Yeah, well,
Interesting.
generally.
I mean, they have nothing else to do.
No, that's
Well,
not
it's
it.
that. It's not that. It's
The
more
di-
like,
it's-
oh, you're telling me there's a chance I can have a lot of money? There's a chance?
That
Yeah.
too. But
It's
you
that.
you have to admit, like, a
It's
lot
hope.
of people gamble because
It's false hope.
that's entertainment for them.
Yeah, because the other, if you're like an economist, you would say poor families are more rational with their money and they wouldn't want to gamble it away because they have less to lose or more to lose.
I think it's more
Presumably.
rational if you're a cornered rat. It's more rational to strike out and be like, okay, maybe I'll have a
That's how
chance.
desperate you are.
Right,
Yeah, I
right.
feel like
Yeah,
it's
And when you have no money, I think
it's an industry that
you're
feeds
at-
off
you're
of
especially that
desperate
high.
people. Have you ever
Yeah.
been to a
It's just
casino?
the risk
You
is
ever
a lot
been
higher.
to a
love
casino
casino.
where
Oh.
like they give you the free drinks and they're like, yes, 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 yes.
Tip the
They're all
server.
nice and they smile, and it's because you're losing so much fucking money.
That's true.
That's the only. As soon as you start winning, they're like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, please,
Mm.
please.
Oh yeah, I mean the
They-
numbers don't lie, right? Like
Yeah, house always
every-
wins.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Always.
So if you want more people to lose their money to some fucking corporation, then
That's
yeah.
true, though.
I'm not down with that. Like I don't like helping these fucking corporations at any turn, you know.
Mm.
But that's just me. I don't know. I'm very angry about that.
How would you feel if like all 49 states allowed it and we're the only one that didn't? That's not a big factor?
That's them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Who cares?
California is
True.
the sixth largest economy in the world.
We're about to be fourth.
Oh, is that true?
That's not. What?
Yes, yeah.
No, get out of here.
We're
What?
gonna beat Germany.
Since when?
Sometime next year.
Wow.
Who's the other one?
The other three?
No, you said we're going from 6th to 4th.
No, we're actually fifth, not sixth.
I thought
And
we
we're
were.
gonna be fourth.
Last time I checked, I guess that was like, oh god, I'm getting older. It was like 5 years ago when it like stuck that statistic into my brain and I
Oh,
haven't
then who's the other
gotten it
three?
out.
The other three, well, one's gonna be the U.S., two is probably China, third, I don't know. I don't remember.
The
Some
U.S.
other big-
contains California. You mean the
It
U.S.?
does.
Yeah, how does that work?
Oh, wait, okay. Oh, I think I
Because
agree.
you're comparing 49 states compared to California. We're like number 4 in the world. In the
Okay.
world compared to in just U.S. So it's okay for us to be like have our own. We're basically a country, so we do whatever we want.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Reminds me of the lottery too. Most people that play lottery are lower income. Which, by the way, I think we're at 800 million. So fine story.
Let's go today. Let's go today. That looks funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts? Or? I think we gave it a good old discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we hit all the. I mean, was there any other angle that anybody can think of that we did not touch upon? We did not.
When you said 10% of state revenue, or like 10% of it goes to state revenue, I was like, wow, that's egregious. Like, come on.
Should be more.
You're saying,
No,
you're saying it's not.
absolutely.
It should be more. What
It
should
should
it
be
be?
more.
That's
How
true.
much?
It should be more.
If it's a $3 billion new industry, 10% is just a drop.
What's a comparable industry that has a rate that's high? Like what's like what? I would ask, what's the industry standard? Right? We're creating a new industry. So what's an industry that's
If you're
comparable?
telling me it's gonna start as $3 billion, it's only gonna get bigger, right? And so, like, I don't know, like 20%. I would.
Based on what though?
Nothing.
Why is 10% too low?
Because 10% of $3 billion is how much?
300
300
million?
Yeah.
right?
30 million.
Oh,
sorry.
30 million.
Yeah.
30 million to
No,
300.
300.
Yeah,
30. Is it 30?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking 1%. Sorry.
Still,
300 million.
still, like that's again just a drop in the bucket. Like I'm thinking about
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the metaphors, right? Like I remember seeing a metaphor of like seeing like was it Jeff Bezos' money in rice grains, and like
Oh, yeah.
each rice grain representing what $10,000.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about how 3 billion, like 10% of that is nothing. Like those are just drops in a bucket, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying it should be more than 10%.
Especially when it's an app, right? You don't have that much overhead. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Money printing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are companies entitled to 90%?
Oh, that's a good. It's a good flip. No, I agree. Yeah, it should be the other way around. But I mean, I think that. Yeah, whatever. Never mind. Don't need to get back into it. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I'm good with move on.
Ready to move on?
Next one.
I want to hear some people tugging on your heartstrings on these rebuttals and arguments.
Was there any crazy ones?
Oh yeah, we're
Any
I-
crazy
I
ones?
don't know.
Anybody say anything crazy?
Here we go. I don't know. I'm just reading them right now. 1 in 6 Californians experience mental illness. It's a crisis. Prop 27 will generate hundreds of millions to fund mental health treatment.
while exacerbating the problem.
Yeah, how about that? Mental health? Come on.
Yeah, but it'll make
You don't
some
like
of these
mental health? Come on.
some of these mental health problems will be
I
exacerbated.
already know.
No, you're supposed to, yes.
They'll have the services to
mental
help
health.
them.
Oh, so gambling is supposed to help their mental health?
It's gonna fund mental health. Yeah.
Oh.
If they win, it's gonna be
That's
hella
what I'm
good.
saying. Like
Wait.
the gambling's gonna create more mental health
Right, that's what
issues.
it's like. It's gonna create other issues outside of the mental health, right?
Yeah.
It's cyclical.
The taxes generated
Right.
are gonna
what?
be
And
for
then they're
mental.
gonna get their own
I don't
help.
get it.
The money
There you
just
go.
keeps going around and around.
Right, that's what I'm saying. How are they afford mental health, right? Like,
You're down until you're up.
And it's not
bro.
even all of it goes to mental health. It's only 10% of the company's
10% of 10%, so 1% of the 3
revenue.
billion.
Trickle down economics.
1% of the 3 billion goes to mental health, some of which is caused by
themselves.
online gambling. So, you know,
Interesting.
I don't know.
Someone paid for that to be out there, no?
Yeah, I think all. Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel
The
free
gambling
first.
companies.
There's a lot of money that went into these propositions. These are some
That's why
of
it's
the
so
most.
damn thick. Look at that thing.
That's San Francisco.
Oh, even then, like, crazy.
Yeah, that's just San Francisco.
That's
That's way,
California. Yeah.
This company.
That this thing hella thick too.